All right, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Thaddeus. Shout out to our producer, Boy Band John. What's up, man? Happy New Year. It's our first episode of the new year. What's up? Ready to conquer this year. Let's see. Shout out to our sponsors, defendhawaii.com. If you go on their website, defendhawaii.com, use promo code ATBpod upon checkout and receive 15% off your whole entire purchase order. They have cool gear, hats, bags, whatever, streetwear. They're getting very cultural with the Hawaiian culture nowadays. Go to No One in Windward Mall and you can pick up their stuff live, or if you go on their website. Also, Detail Garage Hawaii. If you want to wash, wax your car, they have everything you need to take care of your car, detail, vacuum, what have you. DetailGarageHawaii.com. Use promo code ATBpod upon checkout. Same thing. 15% off your entire purchase order. And last but not least, we have Hawaii Candy Factory. They have, they do all kind of crazy stuffs with candy. They have Nerds, Gushers. They put lihimui, mix it all up. They got all kind of crazy stuff. Go check out their website, hawaiicandyfactory.com. And then you'll understand what I'm talking about. They have crazy concoctions with candy and nice and cool packaging. They do a lot of theme stuff also. Same thing upon checkout, atbpod.com or atbpod promo code and receive 10% off your purchase order. Okay, so this is episode 46 and my guest today we got to see perform, and we realized both Boy Band John and myself got to see him perform opening act for the Tamua show. His name is James Mane and he's a stand-up comedian, IAA football coach. What's up, brother? How you been?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. We seen your act and we're like, bro, we got to get this guy on. And I told John, he's coming on, and yeah, he's all stoked. So how's your holidays?
Actually, so been doing a lot of eating. So, I mean, I'm sure everybody does it, but because I don't do too much activities other than when I'm coaching, and we stopped just before the holidays. We lost to Iolani. We got eliminated in the state tournament. So I just been like, was that depression eating? Like,
yeah.
Give me an extra scoop because Iolani beat us.
Who won the division this year?
Iolani did. They ended up winning the state tournament, which, I mean, they were really well coached team. Sometimes when you lose and during the game, you're like, this team is just really good. So it wasn't like a devastating loss. We lost 21-0, but devastating for the seniors, because that's it for them. But we lost to a good team, well-coached team, intelligent, high IQ football IQ team, and was impressed with some of their players. Like, wow, that kid, their running back. I was like, that kid has it. It's somebody special. And, hopefully we see him playing Saturdays on TV soon.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because school I went to, Damien, is in the same division, and we were primarily always battling Iolani the last maybe decade for the ILH portion of the division, and it was always, hopefully, like I would always hope Damien went in. My friend used to coach for them, Eddie, and
it was a good coach.
Yeah.
Really good coach.
Unfortunately, he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
I think he went to be a stevedore or something.
Can't go wrong there.
Oh yeah, that's a good job switch. Coach for Damien or stevedore. No brainer to me.
Yeah. I can say that with Tamua. Tamua was last year, 2020, where he's like, eventually I'm gonna have to decide if I'm gonna do comedy or go full-time stevedore. And I was like, wait, you guys stevedores? Why are you going to do comedy, you guys stevedores?
Yeah, even
his dad is in it.
Big time.
Yeah, so I was like, so you knew when you came out of high school that you was going to do that? Why you go to college for?
For real, huh? Yeah, even we had him on the show earlier, and his disclaimer was like, bro, I'll commit to this time, but I might get called in because he's on call. I'm like, bro, all good. If you gotta work, we just switch him out. Like, it's all good.
That's why he didn't coach, because he was supposed to coach at IAL.
He grad IAL too.
No. He's a Punahou grad. But
that's right.
he was doing like the 5-year-old flag football coaching. And I seen him posting it. This was like maybe 3 years ago, before the pandemic. And I told him, I said, yeah, you like coach high school? I coach at Aya. And he said, well, I cannot commit too much time. I said, nah, Aya, we all volunteer. It's when you can, because everybody work. Everybody, you know, high school coaches, you know, God bless those people, because we don't make that much money. It's all either you love the sport or you like helping kids. And I saw that he liked helping the kids. So I told him, and he just couldn't commit because, like you say, he gets called in to come to work. So he didn't want to just bail out on the kids. And understandable, because the thing about Tomo is like dedication. That's and if you cannot give 100%, you're not going to ask kids to give 100%. So it's like, why be there? You know.
That makes sense.
I'm still trying to get him out there.
So how did you end up coaching? And I assume that's your alma mater too, right?
Yep. I graduated 93. I went to play college football in Buffalo, New York. I got the career-ending injury. Came back. Yeah, they asked me to help out. Coach Say, who's the head coach there, I think he's like 30 plus years now. But he kept asking me to come back, help out. Same thing like with Timor's. And you know, you're a football player too. So it's like, I cannot ask kids to be there, to not miss practice, and I'm gonna miss practice because of work. So I never had the time, but I do now. And luckily, like I coach our assistant coach, offensive line. We actually have 3 of us, so always get somebody to cover.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
it's like so coaching by committee.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's funny because the dynamics is so like the main O-line coach, Coach Keone Fontanella he's a Kailua grad. He's technical. He can do the live what do you call it, adjustments, like on the fly. And I struggle at that. My thing is more developing the player. So my thing is practice or training. I can look and I can watch one position and help out where he can see the whole line. I've seen coaches like that. I'm impressed by that. Like, how do you see the whole line? You know, there's 5 kids over there, and they see it. And then so I'm only in like 2 years. This is my 2nd season, so I'm still learning. So hopefully one day I'll be like that, where I can just watch the whole field and see like, 3 guys made mistakes. How did you see those 3 guys?
How did you decide you were like, okay, I'm gonna start coaching?
It's funny because my daughter actually got me into it. She's a soccer player. I would take her to soccer since she was like 7 years old, and I would see all her coaches. I would help train her when I could, but when she got to teenager, it was like that pressure, and it could be also be like parent is not putting the pressure on. It's the kid putting pressure on themselves to impress the parent. And I saw that, and some of my friends are physical therapists. They was pointing it out, and I was like, oh, I didn't know. So I kind of pulled back. And then she went to high school, and and she said, Dad, I want to go kick football. I was like,
the place kicker.
Yeah, and I was like, what? I mean, they get hit too, you know. It's like, oh, I just want to go try it out. I guess one of her soccer teammates who's 3 years older than her, she kicked for the football team.
So
I was like, yeah, Katie girl, I forget her last name, but so my daughter talked to her and she was like, oh, go for it. You know, I did it and it was awesome. So my daughter's junior year, she said, Dad, I'm going to go. And I enjoy watching her play whatever sport. She's also a volleyball player. And then I'm watching her kick the ball, and then I'm over there on the field already. I might as well help out. And then I started helping out kids. And the weirdest thing happens is you bond with these kids, and it's like,
oh yeah,
you start teaching somebody something, and then it clicks for them. They don't have the same pressure as my daughter had because I'm her parent. So it's like I'm just coached. Some of them actually is like look up to me like a dad too, and would DM me because I'm heavy on social media. A lot of other coaches aren't, trying to push their business on social media, whereas as a comedian is. So they start reaching out to me. Hey, coach, I got issues, this or that. And next thing I start talking to these kids, telling them about, life lessons or future or whatnot. And then I just developed that bond with some of these kids. I was actually not going to coach this year because I wanted to pursue comedy. But some of the kids, hey, coach, you're coming out. I mean, the pandemic is, we can play, we're done with that lockdown season that they didn't have last year. So I was like, I'll come out when I can. And then, and next thing you know, there's a freshman on there. And I tell my daughter, I said, I'm only going to go and help the seniors because those are the kids I helped in JV. I'm going to help them. And then when they graduate, I'm done. I get this freshman kid and I bonded with that kid. And this other sophomore, he's like, oh, coach, you're one of the reasons I keep coming out. I don't know if they really mean it, but just to hear it, you're like,
yeah,
oh, man.
I'm sure they do. Kids hardly bullshit when it comes to that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's how, so my daughter was in college now and I'm texting her. I was like, oh man, this one kid, Upu and this other kid, Preston, man, they keep, the way they talk to me is like, I feel like I got to go because of them. And then she's like, oh, wow, that sounds like you signed another 4-year contract. I was like, I know.
So, the next freshmen and stuff, come on, you cannot be nice to them or close to them if you're going to retire.
Like, get out of here, rookie. Yeah. Any underclassmen, don't talk to me. Just go run laps.
So back it up a little bit. How was it watching your daughter play football? Because I mean, I'm sure she got hit or like, wearing pads and stuff is different when it's a girl. Like if my daughter was playing football and someone would clean her out, like, I'd be trying to find her in a parking lot after. You know what I mean?
It's funny you say that because she actually got run over against Damien.
That sounds about right. Damien guys hitting girls.
It was a kickoff. So, and my daughter has and I don't want to be that parent that always brags about their daughter, but like, she could kick 50-yard field goals. Because she's 6 feet. She's, I guess it's the length and I guess whatever, but she's been playing soccer since she was 7 years old. And so she had that big leg. And she kicked the ball and it was a kickoff. Damien started going and I'm watching from the booth upstairs and I see our kickoff guys just open up and all of a sudden the middle opens up and I'm like, oh no. Because I know that guy's running right up the middle and he's running and it's a platoon, 3 of them running right towards him and it's only the kicker back there.
Oh, and you get good view because you look down too. Huh?
So I'm like, oh no. In my head, oh no. And then so they start going towards the sideline and she tried to use a sideline as an extra defender and kind of force out. But the other kid just came and he didn't hit her like a dirty hit. It was a football play. Hit her and you see her just tumbling like on car wreck, rolling on his side. I was like, oh no. And I
what's
watched
that kid's number?
I was watching her. I was like, please get up. Because she played 2 sports. She was playing girls volleyball and football because same season. So all I could think was her, because she had to ask permission from her volleyball coach if she could go play. And the coach was cool. She said, yeah, it's high school. Go experience, other sports. That's cool. And I was thinking like, that coach is going to be so mad if she gets hurt.
Oh, yeah. That's
it was rough. Seeing her get hit on PAT also because White Powell hit her like 3 times.
No more O-line.
They just came through like water. White Powell had a really good D-line, so it wasn't our guys just let them through like water, and they blocked 2 of them. One she made, but she still got hit, and I was like, oh. Good experience for her, I guess, and glad that she survived it.
Yeah.
So.
In all hindsight, you must have been super proud though. That like not many fathers can say, "Oh yeah, my daughter is playing football for IA," or my like the team you played for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we both have that bond where we're both
Yeah.
football players for IA, and it was pretty cool. I think she liked it too because every place she went, I was like, "Hey, that's the kicker. That's the kicker."
Yeah.
She didn't have a name. She was the kicker.
Yeah.
I
Some girl
still
walking
blast.
out with her helmet.
Yeah, because and even during when she comes out and other people will be cheering, I think in general Hawaii we always cheer for underdogs, and not saying that girls or women are underdogs. It's just this is the boys' sport. As far as this is boys' football. If they have girls' football, that's cool too. But just seeing her and we've seen other girls. McKinley had a quarterback.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the same year, and I think I think Kaiser had a female kicker as well. So we actually the Iolani's kicker, like maybe 3 years ago, holds the record for female distance, which I think was like 44 yards or something like that. And my daughter was that was what she wanted, to try to break that record, but unfortunately for her, she didn't have a senior year because COVID shut that down. So I said, it's okay. It's to me, it's more about the experience.
Yeah.
Then so it's like you got to go on the field. That's awesome. There's little girls from elementary would ask her for autograph, and I said,
"Oh, that's super awesome."
Yeah, but there is an ugly side because me being her dad / coach, I wouldn't let her like take it easy in practice. So. Because kickers usually
dad coach. Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm yelling, "Where are you?" And then she was at the locker room. Everybody's running. I was like, "Why? Wait, you think you got special practice? Run a couple of laps." And she's running, and all the players looking at me like, "Wow, he's mean."
You gotta be biased, but you tend to be a little bit more hard on your own kids, huh?
Yeah. That's why I was like, I didn't want to show that I was like favoring her. So I was like, I would make her run so much. She's like, "Dad, I don't even run this much at volleyball." I was like, "I know, this is football now."
Yeah.
You guys ever watched the movie Necessary Roughness?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Kathy Ireland, huh?
Right?
Yeah.
The center, the snapper, right?
Manu Mana.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The center. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Even the kind, what was it? The replacements had Ace Yonomini from Kaneohe.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Nandeska.
The guy that's in the fucking Bulaia video, right?
Yeah.
He just passed this year. They just he just had his memorial. So we have a couple Castle Castle alums coaching with us, and he graduated at Castle.
Yeah,
with one of our coaches, and they just had a memorial for him. He passed.
I had no idea.
I remember. Sorry to bring the tone down.
Make us laugh. You're a comedian. You're a comedian.
I remember he used to kick off, and he used to be the kicker for the kickoffs. And there's a big Japanese guy, he looked like a sumo wrestler, and he would be the only one with a white helmet because all the maroon ones wouldn't fit his head. And he would kick off barefoot.
Wow.
So he'd kick off and run down the field with one cleat, one barefoot. That's how I remember him. And then we were watching that movie. I'm like, bruh, that's that guy from Castle.
The guy eating all those eggs. That's him.
Nandeska.
Nandeska.
That's the one who got the flag at the end of the game, remember?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. And he had like the Elvis, like an Elvis accent. Like, sorry, guys. I was like,
I just seen him too, like a couple weeks ago. The movie.
Every time it's on TBS, I watch him. It's like, okay, I guess I'm watching this for the rest of the day.
Yeah. So after college, like, you went straight into comedy after that, or how did even comedy become a thing? Like,
well, I was always class clown. I was always, that one guy always has some comment, and then like the teacher talking or somebody saying something, and then I just throw in one quick comment, and it just teacher get mad, kick you out, go sit down outside.
So you're always in trouble then.
Yeah, because of my mouth. Like I was always big. I was like, I think I was 6 feet, 6th grade, I think. but it was never anything physical. For me, it was always, my mouth always got me in trouble. But when I came back, I actually got into DJing because I went to school, Buffalo, New York, and my roommates were DJs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they brought their turntables in. So I started watching. I didn't know anything about it, and they taught me everything. So when I came back, I got into it. I started doing mobile DJing with this one company where I would do like weddings that wasn't really scratching or anything like that. But then I met Cool E, who's now on the Bomb, but at the time it was Jammin' 93.1.
Yeah.
And then I started buying records from him, and then got into being on air with him, Cool E and the gang. And then we would do clubs or like Cellar. Bedrocks was our thing. Like
we still promote there.
No, Bedrock.
Yeah, it was Bedrock. It's now called Rock Bottom.
Oh, it is? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So we had
by university,
like college Thursday. Yeah. College Thursday. And we got busted for and we weren't the promoters, or we was just the DJs.
Yeah.
We had like Kim Willoughby, Timmy Chang, Rolovich in there speaking Samoan. And they were all students, and they got a lot of guys got busted for underage drinking.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
John was the owner, huh?
Yeah. John. So me and him got into a big fight at the front door because I was trying to bring Timmy Chang in. I was like, oh, he's with us. And he go, you never put him on the list. I was like, come on, man. Yeah,
the quarterback, right?
Yeah, he's like Heisman Trophy, in his future, and he's breaking records, and come on, plus he's walking in with us, and he was like, I told you got to turn in your list by a certain time. Yeah, he's giving me a hard time. He's talking to me the way he talked to his bouncers, and he's pointing his finger up at my face, and then the line was like around the corner, and people are in front all watching. I just went off. I was like, and that's part of my French. I was like, look here, you don't fucking point your finger at my face. And it's going off. Who do you think you are? And then I was like, I don't work for you. These people didn't come here to buy your beer. They came here to listen to us. Yeah. I got all diva for a second. And then since then, we've been friends. I think.
Oh, you and John.
Yeah. So even when John went to
long time. Yeah.
Because John went to 929. Yeah. So that's how I got hooked up. We used to do our podcast with Russell and Chad, the guys with issues. We used to do our podcast in 939.
Oh, I heard about. I didn't know that was. I did hear about that.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, we had the infamous London Keys episode, and she got to party, and she was too drunk to work.
Oh,
she almost fell down the stairs when she was coming down.
Oh, from the top. Yeah, we used to. We did some promotions there too.
So she almost.
What was your DJ name? Sorry.
Oh, back then was Jesse James.
Oh, okay.
And then actually on air they call me Big Game Jesse James.
Okay.
And there's a weird story which was on about this is AOL time.
Yeah.
AOL chat rooms. So I put Big Game Jesse James, but that couldn't fit. It was one letter too long. So when I wrote it out, I was like, oh, there's two G's. I might as well take the second G out. So Big Game Jesse James. And I didn't realize this after I started getting hit on by dudes, and that it looks like by Game Jesse James. I didn't realize until, and I was like, why are these guys always talking to me? I'm not introduced. You get the ASL, yeah?
Yeah.
So I was like, why do you guys keep talking to me?
Oh, that's funny. That's when AIM and all that was.
Yeah.
So MySpace.
Like, oh my goodness. But then, so I got into DJing with Cool E, and I realized how much work the DJ actually does.
Oh, brah, yep.
Digging through the crates, and then so I started being his hype man. All I had to do is go over there and show up and hold the mic, and then he cuts out the music at certain times. Hoppa Boy does the same thing too.
Yeah.
Where the crowd, and I'm with the crowd with the mic, ain't no fun if the homies can't, and it's just, so I started to feel like, oh, I'm a star. I'm the man over here. Because every time I turn around, Kui's, his back is towards
digging
the crowd.
Yep,
digging, looking for the next record. And I was like, man, they love me here. Oh. But that's when I realized, like, oh, that's the least amount of work, is the guy who just goes up and with the microphone and that's it.
Yeah.
What's his name? Rick Rock was one guy.
Yeah.
So him, Slick Vic was another one that I saw. And I was like, man, these guys, they don't need to mess with they can go in the crowd with the cordless mic and party. So I looked up to those guys. I was like, I don't be like those guys. But then
that's super cool.
Somebody suggested I do comedy, and I was like, I'll give it a try. And then the adrenaline rush you get from killing, especially when you think you're going to do bad, and you turn it around, and that was it for me. I did 1 5-minute set at what is it, upstairs on Fisherman's Wharf.
The living room.
Living room, yeah. So I did 5 minutes there, and just the adrenaline. I was so hyped driving home and then going to work the next morning.
Oh wow!
I was a city bus driver at the time, and an empty bus, and I was still feeling it. Like, man, I did it. It's the accomplishment. I was like, and then I kept going until I did a show, a fundraiser. Oh no, Christmas show. No, Father's Day show. I'm sorry. In Waianae Rest Camp for a canoe club. And then I bombed. I was mortified. It was my first time actually bombing. And then I quit.
Oh, wow.
I was like, this is not for me. I felt so bad, because they paid me. I didn't know that a lot of those rooms aren't made for stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedies, everybody's got to be there for a comedy show. If they were there, and that canoe club was there to drink, it was there to party. There was green bottles on all the tables, the empty green bottles all over the place. And I didn't know better. Like, there's a certain way to do comedy in that kind of room, and a certain way to do, like, at Tumua's show at the Blaisdell, and a certain way to do it at a small room that everybody's up close and the ceiling is low. So there's different, like Blue Note. So there's different ways to do stand-up comedy that a lot of people don't know, that don't do stand-up a lot.
So that was your first lesson, huh? That was your first lesson in comedy, though.
Yeah. And then the lesson is, and when people ask about comedy, if they should do it, I'm funny, I make all my friends laugh, yada yada. Maybe I should get up on stage. Like, I have no advice for you. I would just say, go up, see how it goes, and I know they're gonna eventually bomb.
Yeah.
If they come back, then they got it. If they don't come back, then they don't want it. Because
that's kind of good.
Yeah, and then in this, I talked to the kids about it. At the football, even my daughter, I said, I would never expect you to, like, the left tackle that I'm working with at IA. I tell him, I was like, I'm not expecting you to dominate this guy every play. That would be ridiculous of me to expect that. There's some plays you're gonna get beat, but I want to know if you can come back the next play and try to beat him. And that's really what what life is. And and on our podcast, the Guys with Issues that we used to do, the thing we pushed was the suicide phone hotline phone numbers, because the thing that we was strongly against was bullying, and then kids end up committing suicide over it. So like the goal is to try to teach some of these kids, like, hey, that day was bad, but if you can bounce back, if you can just see the next day, and you'll see that it's not all bad. Something, some people, they're rough lives, and if we could, like, at least help one kid to bounce back, this. So like that's the thing I push with my daughter, is like, hey, you're gonna have bad days. some days you're going to try your hardest, but you're just not going to win. It's just life, you know. Sorry to take the turn.
No, all good, bro. That's everybody gotta learn that. Is you're right though. What is the Rocky quote? Like, it's not about getting knocked down, it's about getting back up and trying again. And you're right, that goes with everything. Like even podcasting, like shoot, it's not easy. You gotta, and then plenty of people talk bad about you or like, look at this guy, or say, whatever, you know what I mean? It's gotta keep going. But to bomb must be insane because you're doing them live in front of people as it happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's you
rough.
Hear crickets.
Sometimes I actually try to bomb because I'm like, you know, like I used to gamble. I stopped because I was like, oh, I'm losing money. I better stop. But so like I always feel like, oh, I gotta lose sometimes. It's gonna come, and then I'll win. You know. So like there's sometimes I'm like, oh, I got to go to this open mic and try to bomb because I'm due for one. I don't want it to be like at Tamua's show. Where
get it out the system.
Yeah, it's over 2,000 people there. That's a rough place to bomb.
Oh, yeah.
so I would go to like this pizza place on Kapahulu, and then like, but it's funny because I've been in it so long and always trying to entertain people. You always find a way to win. Yeah. So like I went and I was telling my friend Graham Elwood, who's a international touring comedian. He's performed for the troops and he's helped me with podcasting. Also, he had successful podcasts. So I told him, I said, hey, I'm just going to go in there. I'm just going to bomb on purpose. I'm just going to be as hacky as I can be and see what happens. And he was like, oh, cool. I love to see that. And so I go in and I'm like, I look at everybody, I hardly talk, and I'm like, pizza parters. Am I right? And that's all I did. I was just going like, just cheese, sauce, crust. Am I right? Like there's no punchlines, but I was there for like 5 minutes. I was like, men and women, cats and dogs. Am I right? And it got to a point where it's so ridiculous that people started to laugh and they started to say, am I right? And it was like, it was with me. And then the guy, Graham, he was like, dude, that was genius. You should do that.
That should be part of your set.
I was like, I can't do that on a real stage. I was trying to bomb. It was so funny because it just happened. It was like, it's cool and it's bad at the same time because I want to bomb sometimes.
So you see how you can recover and try to navigate like a hostile environment.
Yeah. So you dig a hole and you see if you can get yourself out. But yeah,
it takes a lot of balls just to get up there and speak, and like you said, like not everything's gonna hit. So it's like to recover from that is a skill. It's a talent.
Yeah, I think part of it is being able to get over it and move to the next thing. But yeah, so like when I try a new joke, I'm like, I know it's not fully fleshed out. It's not 100% ready. I just have an idea that something is funny. I know this is funny. I just got to work on it and build it. I don't know if you remember, there used to be a wagon, kind of like on lunch wagon, but they served, it was women dressed in bikinis.
Oh, yeah. Coffee.
Yeah. So one of the things the jokes that I started out with was, I forget the name of the place. I used to talk to the owner too. But I said, oh, this is probably the worst place to find hair in your food. So that was the punchline. And I would get laughs. And then I found out that the type of jokes that I like is kind of disgusting, and you kind of go, ooh, but you still laugh.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, then I turned around, I was like, this is probably the only place that I'll be okay with if I found hair in my food. And I'd be like, I'd be looking at that hair like, and I started to make it as disgusting as I could. I was like, I'd be like, Horatio Kane from CSI Miami. Like, pubes. I knew it. So like, then I found out, and then I started writing jokes so like with Timur's show and Andy's show, I was open for Khalil Pilanka. It's all family-friendly shows, so family-friendly shows, actually, they get more money because you get more appeal, more people that will come to your show.
Bigger demographic.
Yeah, because the only time I seen kids at Blue Note was when Timur's show, like actual, like 9-year-olds. And then you're looking at it like, wow, this is foreign to me, but I get it. The business side, I get it. And it's also awesome because he might have just inspired these young people to be comedians. You know, like because for me, the first stand-up comedian I saw was Andy Bumatai's High School Days. And I was like, that guy is just talking and everybody's enjoying it. You know, so it's like, that's so weird to me. I think somewhere that had an effect on me where then I became class clown when I went to school because I wanted to make everybody in the classroom laugh. So like some of the jokes that I came up with after were like kind of borderline disgusting. Like, so like I have one that I can't do at Timur shows. It's where I say my sister recently gave birth. So we're all at the hospital, and then everybody's, you know, oh, the baby's beautiful. We're around her bed, and they what do you call it, when they wrap the baby really tight with a white blanket. My sister's husband is Jamaican, so it was like, wow, he's actually good looking. Surprised that a Samoan Jamaican baby is good looking, you know. Like, and then I guess negative times negative does equal positive. And then my auntie picks him up and she goes, "Mwah," and she goes, ooh, new baby smell. And she starts passing the baby around. We're all making a circle. I was like, my comedic mind, I'm like, man, my family's passing around this giant joint. It's half Jamaican, so you know he's pretty good.
You roll him up.
And then it comes to me and I'm like, oh, I'll pass. I said, what's wrong with you? And I had to explain to my dad. I was like, see, the way that I think, you know, like you guys been in a new car before, you got that new car smell. It's a beautiful smell. I don't think it's the smell of a new car. My mind thinks it's the smell of the factory that it came from. So when you guys sniff that baby, I don't want to know what my sister's baby factory smells like. So like when I do that joke at places, I always get the groan and it grows into a laughter. And that's where I was like, that's what I like.
Your niche.
Yeah.
The shock factor.
Yeah. But then it's like, it's so disgusting, but it's so true. And it's funny.
Yeah.
So, and then I usually close it like, so the best thing is that from today on, you guys will see a baby. And you guys will hear somebody in your family go, new baby smell. And you're going to remember that, that giant not. Samoan comedian, James Monty. And then I sign out. But I can't do it at 2 more shows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess that's part of your talent, right? Is to navigate every kind of genre of audience, because we were there and we talked about it on the way home. I was like, Brad, they didn't say one swear word. And we noticed when they were showing the sponsors, one of them was a church, and it's like, yeah, a church not going to sponsor like a show with all swear words and crazy stuff. But we laughed just as hard as we would have if it was a dirtier show or a more R-rated show, and we didn't miss anything. It wasn't like, oh, we missed out. Like it was something was missing from the comedy. It was just as funny. We laughed just as hard. And yeah, it was kind of refreshing to see comedy in that atmosphere where, like you said, there were kids, there were old people, and everybody was, it was cool.
That's just something that Timur, he doesn't swear. I mean, if you talk to him normally, he doesn't swear. And there's a lot of comedians that do swear off stage, but they don't swear on stage. It's just a choice that they made. So as far as the business side of comedy or stand-up comedy at shows, you go with the headliner. The headliner doesn't swear, you don't swear, because his people expect a certain show. And being funny, some people, they use the swear words like a crutch, like, oh, they're not laughing, and then they say something disgusting. Yeah. And then some people will laugh. And to me, and to a lot of comics, that's cheap laugh. If you don't talk like that regular, like Kevin Hart swears in his regular conversation.
Yeah.
So he's going to swear, but he's not going to get like disgusting and vulgar about little details of like sex or whatever's, but he will talk the way he talks off stage. And for me,
he's
that's
being himself.
Yeah. And Toomua doesn't. I actually know some comedians who always say, work clean, work clean, work clean. But you ride in the car with them, it's like, oh my goodness. He's swearing so much. It's like a old school sailor or something. It's like I trip out, and because even on our podcast when we interviewed Augie, and he doesn't normally swear, but he's not. His shows are clean because he performs for the family and everybody. But if you talk story with him, some swear words will come out. So it kind of catches you off guard. And you're like, what? Oh, that's right. I forgot. They're not on stage. But that's a choice, a conscious choice that they made. Me, like I said, we're talking. This is how I perform. I will write clean. There's certain parts that are dirty that I do. Some jokes about my daughter, and it's not. Well, it can be, but it has to be more funny than it is vulgar for it to work. Some people, they just, and that's our scene. There's a lot of underground comedians here in Hawaii. A lot of them think they watch what they see on Netflix or on TV, and they go, I gotta be like them, and then they get disgusting, and which is why they don't sell out shows like Toomua sells out shows. So Toomua gets the whole family at the show. Yeah. Where I'll get the 30-year-olds or the 20-year-olds, not so much the older the parents or their kids. They won't really be at my show. So I look at myself like Toomua. I tell him that you're the hero. You're the guy right now. You stay clean and don't do jokes that punch down. Like pick on certain groups of people. Just do what you do. You're great. For me, it's my demographics isn't as big as his, which is why when I do a show, it's not giant like his. But I appreciate his shows. I love doing his shows. Yeah.
But you pick up fans that way because just like us, we were so interested in your comedy. Like, we got to get you on the show, where we became fans just from watching you. And so as Toomua fans, now we gain another comedian that we can like go enjoy because of his venue and opportunity he gave to you. Now his demographic is seeing you do your thing, and
which I appreciate. Yeah. Because my Instagram has ticked upwards since. I'm like, hey, this Toomua, man. Every time so I tell them, so you're gonna put video out with me inside.
Give you some shine, huh?
I know. Help our brother out, man. I'm trying to sell some tickets.
So being a comedian in Hawaii, granted, there's not many mainstream venues for it. Like in the mainland, they have the store or the comedy show or whatever. But is there a big underground scene for this? So where you can, like you said, like you have a joke, it's like a diamond in the rough. You want to refine it, try it out, and work your joke so it becomes super good. Like, how would you do that in Hawaii?
So even for openers or people who want to, first time, a lot of times, like even Toomua and myself, we go to Hawaiian Brian's. They have a new venue called Slack Key, which is small but intimate. And that's what the kind of place you need to develop jokes. You need people to be there to listen to the words, and then you watch their reaction. So a lot of times I'll watch their reaction and go, "Oh, this is not working." So, let me see if I tweak this. And just like I said, I tweak the jokes. The next time I go up, let me try this. The next time I go, and so that's pretty much what you have here. Not like you go to New York City or LA. You can perform 3 times in one night or 8 times on 1 week in 1 weekend. So they can fine tune that joke in a week where we might take a month to fine tune a joke. I think for like myself, Timur, we've been doing it long enough where we know what's going to work for us. So like there's some jokes that I know, that's not going to work for me. Same thing for Timur. I was like, that's a pretty good joke, but I don't think coming from you it'll work.
Yeah.
So there's like talking about hooking up. When you see me and you guys see me, I don't look like the guy who hooks up with a lot of chicks. So it's not going to work for me. It's like, and I do get up and I mention that. It's like, if I'm at like a showcase or at Hawaiian Brian's, and like the first 5 people that went up was talking about hooking up, talking about chicks or dudes or whatever's. Then I come up, and it's like there's a theme going on where everybody's talking about hooking up, and I'm like, it's messed up. And I get up, it's messed up. All these guys, all these good-looking guys that got up here talked about hooking up with chicks, and you guys all believed, you guys all laugh. If I come up here and say, "Oh yeah, I hooked up with this model," and you guys be like, "What? No way, not you! You're such a liar!" And that's part of it. It's like you read the room, you kind of. So there's times where I've come up with jokes just by ranting like that, which is like, I think like Bill Burr does that a lot, where he just rants. And that's, for me, the podcast has done that with the guys at Issues Comedy Podcast. I used to do it, Russell and Chad, where I start ranting about something. And then they'll say, "Where are you going with this, James?" So that was like a catchphrase, like, "Where are you going with this?" I don't know, but something's there. So we still are, good friends with podcasting. It's just Russell is now a daddy ×2, so he's super busy. Other guy, Chad, who's a paralegal, so he's super busy with that. And so it's like, I'm the only one that's still in comedy, so I'm actually starting this week. If you don't mind me mentioning.
No, definitely.
My own podcast will start this week, Thursday. I still haven't. We come up with a name, you're like, it doesn't work. Then you search, and you're like, somebody has that name already.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, but then even like comedy stuff I was trying to do, or Hawaii comedy, but then I was like, people do say I do give too much information. So TMI. So I was like, TMI with James Money. I was like, that works. I was like,
that works.
So I put it in. I was like, okay, nobody has it. Some have TMI, but something else. I was like, I'll just do that. So yeah, it'll be coming out soon. So,
nice. Well, we'll definitely look out for that. Yeah. And as someone who does podcasts, I always want to support local podcasters, because it takes some balls, and it's a lot of work. And fortunately, I have a good producer that helps a ton. But to put yourself out there by yourself is not easy, and you're opening yourself up to ridicule and criticism, but then you are opening yourself up to have people kind of elevate you also, which is cool.
And that's it with comedy. I think with podcasting, because we've been doing it for like, maybe like 7 years. So we notice it's what we learned. Bruce Fisher is another guy who helped us out. He's Mr. Hawaii Aloha Travel. Where you do as many episodes as you can. People might find you at episode 70, and they go, this is funny. This is good. I really like this. Then they go back through your catalog, and then you'll get all the listener or downloads from that. So it's like, have a lot of episodes. So then I think we reached like 100 something, but then we kind of like, we stopped here and there. But that's what, it's like, hey, 2022. Let me just go for it.
Yeah,
and
get it.
no,
Get at
no
it.
matter what those haters say, because you will get them, and
Yep.
we've had them, and even on my social media, like when people start getting vaccinated, I posted, "I'm vaccinated," and then somebody said, "Who effing cares?" I was like, "Whoa." So
Yeah,
you care because you commented.
Exactly. You care more than most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, that hurt me. I said, I didn't tell you to get vaccinated. I got it from my own choice. Do whatever you like.
My own self. Yeah.
I know. But yeah, it's such a weird thing.
That's true though. You ain't doing something right unless you get a bunch of haters. And like if you're doing something enough to where people gotta hate on it, then you're doing something good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem. People are quick to complain. When I used to work in customer service, people are always quick to complain, but they're slow to commend.
100%.
So it's like you don't get all these commendations, but there are people that were very happy with you.
Yeah.
They just don't take the time to tell, hey, I was really pleased with that. But then the haters are so fueled up that I gotta tell, get them fired.
Yeah.
And then they became Karens.
Yep. Hawaiian Karens. Huh?
It's a Kalena. Hard thing too, because Hawaii. I mean, I love my people, but the hard part is like, hey, now I listen to your podcast. Not bad. If it was me, it's
yep, 100%. You know what you gotta do? Yep. What I gotta do, bro? Let me know.
You guys should do this because after that Sunday show, my former boss from the city bus called me at 7 a.m. I was still asleep. I woke up. I was like, whoa. He called me. I'm not going to say the boss's name. I look, I was like, whoa. Hello? And I haven't been working there for like 5-6 years, but he was at the show, tomorrow's show. He goes, oh, caught your little act there. And I was like, whoa, little act? Wow. It was really funny. We had a good time, and one thing good was clean, and I said, oh yeah, that's how Tumo works, and I really appreciate Tumo's fans, and you should try. And I was like, oh,
here we go.
Sorry, I've been doing comedy for over 10 years, but I should listen to this guy who never tried it before.
Yeah.
You tell me, sir.
Let me get my pad. To write this down.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you how to be a boss at your company.
Yeah. I get it, right? I know that those people. You know what you gotta do? You know what you should do? Tell me what I gotta do.
I mean, it's all love, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the same thing when we used to DJ, the rule of thumb was don't do your family's events because they all want free.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You do one person's event, and then now you doing everybody's first birthday, everybody's baby party, whatever.
Yeah, because I don't really do clean. I mean, I can, but that's then when they call me, oh, you can do a baby luau. I was like, whoa. I'm not saying I'm Chris Rock, but you gonna hire Chris Rock to do your baby's luau? Probably, Or they go wedding. Oh, you go wedding? You come perform? I was like, so if you're saying if I work as a waiter, you tell me come to your wedding and wait tables.
Yeah.
Why can't I just be on guest at your wedding?
Yeah, I should eat and enjoy myself. You know what I mean?
I celebrate your love, but no, you let me come work.
Yeah, doing only 5 minutes. Like, I gotta stand up in front of everybody. Like,
I know.
You'll be thinking about him the whole night. Yeah,
and all the people that say, you know what you should do, and they're all sitting over there watching.
Yeah, ready for tell you after.
Yeah. Go ahead, make us laugh, boy. Go tell your jokes. No love.
Well, as in comedy, you got to do a few different things. I seen you got to for one, you got showcased with your comedy on one of the Amazon Prime shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you get picked for that?
So the guy Graham Elwood I was mentioning earlier, he produced that show, and it was a show to highlight indigenous people, mainly Native American people that do stand-up comedy. Then he called me. He's like, "Hey, you're indigenous as well. You're Samoan," and I was like, oh yeah, I guess so. And so he invited me. I was up at San Bernardino, and they did a whole series. I forget how many episodes there is. but I'm in one of them. I should know which episode I'm in, but I can't think of it right now. But he highlighted me in it, which was cool.
Episode 8.
Oh, cool. You see?
Yeah. I see them. Yeah, I just
good research. Yeah. Good research. But yeah, and the only thing, so like when it comes to doing TV, it's always up to the editor. So there's some stuff that was cut out. I was like, oh, they cut out this other thing.
I see.
But it's, it is what it is. But so he had the show and he was trying to sell it to Netflix, but it didn't get to Netflix. It got to Amazon. So Amazon owns it now, which it was free for a while. But this year, I guess you got to pay to see it.
Yeah.
So it was actually a cool experience. They put on makeup, they interview, and then
nice.
Yeah, but it's funny because TV Magic, they did so many episodes. Some episodes were on Sundays. The night I was there was on a Sunday night. So I guess behind the curtain, there was only 3 rows of people.
Huh.
So the people that you see in the episode that I'm in, the way they filmed it, it looks like there's a lot of people. But
it's camera tricks, huh?
Yeah, they use Hollywood magic to make it seem like more people. But it was pretty cool. I've performed for 5 people before, so I'm no stranger to small audiences.
Oh, that's cool. And then you were in Decker.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
So the guys who wrote and this Tim and Eric is a show that a lot of people watch that's on Adult Swim, and they Tim Heidecker does a YouTube show called On Cinema, and they're at what do you call it, like anti-comedy, not anti-comedy, but it's oddball type humor. So
dark comedy.
What's that?
Dark comedy.
There's just like more like they do some silly stuff, but it's not the regular it's not normal for comedy, but it's still funny. But yeah, they do dark comedy. So like they started doing this show and then they started talking about this making their own Jason Bourne type movie, and that's where Decker was created. And Decker is like Jason Bourne, is a secret agent, and it's supposed to be like, looks like it's done with handheld camera, like we made with our phones.
Okay.
But it's actually a full production, and it's done really well. Like I was surprised when I seen it. My sister, who's actually an actor, I was telling her, I was like, yeah, I'm not good with lines or acting. I don't have any experience acting. So she watched it on YouTube. So there's a Decker series on YouTube before I went to Adult Swim. So you guys can see it there. And she watched it and she's like, so the guy is always messing up his lines, but they don't edit that out. They just keep it as the humor, So she was like, oh, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. So when I went, you can see where my acting isn't good, and they just keep it in because that's part of the humor of that show. So in a way, I got lucky, but I don't know I'm not an actor. And then they got picked up by Adult Swim, and we did like 3 seasons on Adult Swim. That's also on Amazon. And cool. I was supposed to be like a bartender. I actually have their right over here. So this, I don't know if you can. Well, you can see. I don't know if it's So they made this thing called I'm the bartender, and I sell buffalo wings. Lanoy Arnold is my name, my character name. So it's Lanoy Arnold's Hawaiian style buffalo flavored chicken wings. And the weird thing is their fans are cult followers.
Oh yeah.
So my Twitter just blew up with all these people, and they're all, some of them bought the sauce, which was sold by the studio. They're all, wow. Yeah, they're all tagging me on their pictures. Look, I got your sauce. I was like, cool. I wish I could get some.
Yeah. I didn't even taste it.
Yeah, I gotta buy it myself. Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah,
super cool.
yeah. So it's pretty cool because they're cult following fans and they love anything that you do. So on my Twitter is Lanoy Arnold and Decker Show. Instagram is Tumo. Yeah, it's like, hey, right on. I'm riding all these coattails.
Yep, elevated, bro.
Yeah,
like I always say, rising tide floats all boats. So one day you're gonna do that for somebody else that's coming up for real. So that being said, what do you think the future in Hawaii comedy is starting to look like, and your future as well?
Well, for me, I'm hoping to be able to do comedy full time, and it's going to be podcasting, stand up, live shows. I used to promote shows, but man, promoters got it rough. Like you push as much as you can out to people to see that this event is coming up. Then the day of the event, you're like, oh, I hope people show up. I hope people show. And as a
feeling,
and as a performer, like, wait a minute, I got this sick feeling in my stomach, and I gotta go perform. So,
oh yeah, I never had that feeling.
Yeah, so that's why
I never perform at one of my events.
So that's why I'm like, oh, I guess I gotta get somebody else to do. So I've been working with Jose Dynamite, who's a comedyuhi.com, and he's putting out today, I think, on the website, and it'll be my headlining show at Blue Note for February 2nd.
Congrats on that, bro.
Yeah, so I'm going to be headlining, going to try to spread the word, but now he's got that pressure of filling the seats where I can just focus on, let me go and
killing it.
Yep, let me go write some new material and see what I can get before that day. And he does the shows at Hawaiian Brian's as well. So me and Tumo will pop up unannounced. I mean, we'll ask him first. We just can't advertise our names. So we'll just show up and we'll do like 10 minutes before the show starts and
try to get your new material refined.
Yeah, get that work in. And then
that's awesome.
So and then I don't know if there's TV in the future, then there's TV in the future, then because that's pretty much, once you get there and people like you and they keep wanting you back, that's, the money's there. Look, all these radio people are all in the news now. Like Justin Cruz, Maleko. So I'm like, look at all these guys.
Justin Cruz used to be what you did. He used to MC my events at W.
Oh, bro.
Our hype guy, yeah. Yep.
See, he
would say his name too much though. He would hype himself up.
That's how he got hired though. Everybody's like, what a name do we know? Justin Cruz. That keeps popping up in my head. I don't know why.
Yeah. It worked.
Yeah. But he was good because he was at Jammin' 92.1 when I was there. Yeah. He runs that board like magic.
Yeah. Malenko was at Star, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was also the hype man for Flash and Maddie when they did the Skybox, or what was it? Skyline.
Yeah. And then I'm just thinking eventually we're gonna see Flash on TV. I mean, I think he is, but I know he does a YouTube thing with Maleko. So.
Yep. They did they had a podcast too, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Lanai also is on TV. So it's like all these people getting into TV. So hopefully, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Gotta have something people like. So sketch comedy, believe it or not, is actually my first thing. I started writing sketches.
Hawaii needs a new I mean, granted, Tamu is kind of doing it on Instagram, but remember Besta Booga Booga and
Replinger.
Yeah.
Because even Andy's
Frank
one was Yep. So that's my first sketch I wrote was in 5th grade. It was about Joe Moore. So I was like, it's always been something. And that's how I got into stand-up. Somebody said, hey, because I was in a sketch writing class. And it was like, why don't you try stand-up? I was like, yeah. And I did it. And I haven't turned back. It's like, but nice. Sketch comedy has always been my thing.
That would be fun to see. Yeah, Hawaii, a new Booga Booga style show like that, but modern.
A Chappelle show type.
Yeah. Or Key and Peele, like that kind. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That would be sick.
I guess we gotta
get on it, bro. You and Tamu, that'd be a mean cast.
Tamu's always golfing though.
Yeah.
Because we were so a podcast.
Pro golfer. Oh, maybe. that would be a good one.
We did we recorded 3 episodes, but we only put out 1 because we were still learning but then he got too busy. It was called Bra No Way. That was a podcast.
Oh, I did see that.
He mentioned it when he was that he's gonna have a podcast coming out.
Exactly.
But then like you said, he get on call. So it's like, so I was like, no more time. They go, okay, every time, no more time. But I always check your IG stories and you're golfing with either Josh Tatofi or Kaloi Kai. Every time.
How all you performers no more nothing else to do.
I know. Everybody rocking their Oahu golf apparel shirts.
Yeah, Hawaii's finest the kind of aloha shirt. Yeah.
How come?
The one glove.
But it's okay. It's all good. All good. So that's why I was like, I gotta do my own,
Yeah.
Especially we'll see what happens with Omicron. And it's like,
oh yeah.
I guess we're gonna be back in the studio, working from Zoom.
Yeah, that's how we got started because as a club promoter, we were shut down for almost 2 years and I didn't have nothing to do and I needed an outlet and John was down and we just started doing it and he got me inspired to do video and actually he really pushed the video and now he got it on Olelo. So this show will be on this show's been on Olelo. So this episode will be on Olelo eventually. But I
would have brushed my teeth.
I would have put on deodorant.
Put on a better shirt. I would have put on my sponsor shirt. Oahu Golf Apparel. Did I say that enough? .com.
Yeah. But shoot, we've been going over an hour. You wanna ask the question of the week?
Question of the week is let me make sure this is right. Let's see. It is, what are your top 3 comedy specials you've seen? So I guess I'm not sure if you in person or I guess just on TV, DVDs.
Oh, it would have to be TV because if you say like specials, I would think like HBO or Netflix or so. I was never live at any one of those, but so not in any order, but just one of my favorites is David Chappelle's, and this is when he was young. He did in San Francisco. It was his.
I said, Chip, no.
Yeah. So it was his. It was HBO.
I think it was Killing Me Softly or whatever. I think Killing Me.
No, it's before that.
Oh,
before that. So it goes even further because some of the stuff he did, some of those jokes in it was in the Killing Me Softly, but. Like the one where he goes, apparently this man broke into this house and hung pictures of his family all over the place. So he does that joke in this special. It's a HBO special. I think he was like early 20s or in his teens. It was in the like 2000 or early or late 90s. It was like a half-hour special. And it was Dave Chappelle's, I think it was Fillmore was where he filmed it at.
Yeah, you're right. Because the Killing Me Softly was DC.
Yeah.
Once the Fillmore was the half-hour one, yeah.
Yeah. Because he has it's one of the jokes he did was, and where he's talking about crime scenes. And he was like, man, they're always, I don't know what's up with these crime scenes and finding semen all over the place. It's like they find it everywhere. It's like, but that's the question. Do they find it? Or are they looking for it? So like he breaks it down. And so for me, and from what I learned from some of the older guys, the person's first special is usually the funniest because they've been working 10, 15, 20 years to do that first special. And then after that first special, they got to get rid of all those jokes.
Yeah.
And come up with new every year. So that's why you see someone like, oh, it's not as funny as the first one. That's the reason.
Yeah. Kevin Hart is kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he does so many.
Yeah.
So there's that one. Was one of my favorites. And then Martin Lawrence had an HBO special from the 90s as well. And it's funny because I watch it now, I'm like, oh, it's not as good. But when I saw it as I was in high school, it was just like, oh my goodness. And then I guess Raw, Eddie Murphy Raw,
Yeah.
because I
I
saw
was gonna
that
say
in the
that
theater.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
really?
I saw that Pro Ridge, they had the fourplex by the old McDonald's, and then so I saw it there and just like, wow,
that was good.
this is awesome.
The funny thing about
three.
that one, funny thing about Raw is if that came out now, he'd be canceled quick.
Yeah.
The stuff he says on that, like, he'd be done. His career be over. I'm surprised they didn't bring it up. But
to me, I think that this whole like I was asked about my opinion on cancel culture, and I think it's a little bit of overreaction. I do understand that you like. I'm not going to go up and do jokes about transgender people because I'm not clever enough to do it so that it works. It'll come out as
get in trouble.
it'll come out as insulting, and I understand it. But like everybody talks about the Chappelle special, the most recent one, where he's talking all about it, and like part of me is thinking that he's trying to get us to a point where we can talk about them the way we talk about everybody.
Yeah.
So that I can talk about straight men, straight women, and I can talk about gay men, gay women. Like it's not have to walk on eggshells.
Yeah.
I know we're not there yet because people have been beaten up and oppressed for choosing those lifestyles. Or so I don't even know if I'm saying it right. I'm getting worried. I'm like, is it a lifestyle? What is it? Did I say it wrong? But it should get to a point where it's just like it's not even an issue.
Yeah.
Like I have my cousin is gay, and it doesn't bother me. Like stuff like that. I don't even know why I said that. I don't know what cousin I'm talking about, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like nothing. It's like saying that my friend is left-handed. It's like
exactly.
We're not like,
who cares?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Southpaws are gonna get mad. Did you just call him lefty? Oh my God.
Oh no, he said southpaw.
So that's and some of my friends say, because I actually opened for Dave Chappelle on Maui, 3 shows.
Oh wow. So you had to meet him and stuff.
Super cool story where
that's insane.
I was asked, the president of Live Nation Comedy called me and he said, hey, I was wondering if you want to come down to Maui and open up for Dave Chappelle. I was like, I'm on my way to the airport. And then, I was there. And then the first night we performed at the Castle Theater. And then they mentioned that wanting his DJ, he likes his DJ to go to places and perform at clubs or whatever. So I guess in Kihei, they call it the Triangles.
Yeah.
So he goes, we're going to go there. And this place? I was like, well, I'll just follow you guys. I had to rent a car because I was the last one there. They were in their like stretch Suburban. So like we're in the parking lot getting ready to go. And he walks over to me. He's like, you know where it is? I was like, I'll just follow you guys. I mean, there's only one road there and I can't mistake your car for anybody else's car.
Yeah.
And then he goes, all right. And he goes back to his car. He comes back, he jumps in my passenger seat. And he said, this way they won't leave you behind. I was like, oh, cool.
That's super cool.
So we're riding from Kahului to Kihei. And we start rapping. And it's funny because I'm telling him about Hawaiian history, Hawaiiana. Talking to him about how what do you call that? The monarchy was overthrown, the land was stolen, and then I likened it to Hawaiians. The ancient Hawaiians are like Native Americans, where the man came and just, I like this, I'm going to take it over, basically. And he was like, wow, I never knew about this. And so I was like, wow, I'm over here talking to Dave Chappelle about this stuff. This is so cool. Yeah,
that's super cool.
Yeah. And he was listening. He was liking it. And I was telling him about people always call me Hawaiian, and the reason it's correct and incorrect, it's like calling a person that lives in New York a New Yorker.
Mm.
So I'm a Hawaiian in that sense. Correct. But there's a people that are Hawaiians. So I would say, no, I'm Samoan. I live in Hawaii. I'm a local boy, but we have people who are Native, have the Hawaiian blood, that we, out of respect for them, I'm not going to say I'm Hawaiian.
Yeah.
So
that's super cool.
Yeah, talking to Dave Chappelle about it, I was like, man, I can't believe I'm talking to Rick James about this.
Rick James, bitch.
Which, by the way, he doesn't like.
Oh, really?
So at his shows, if you pull out your phone, you get kicked out, or if you heckle, you get kicked out. So the night that the second night that we performed, it was the 10-year anniversary of the Rick James sketch. And I knew that because Russell and Chad texted me. I was like, oh, 10 years ago, the Rick James sketch came out. So I told him, I said, oh, did you know? And he was like, oh, I didn't know. And I says, that's cool. He goes on, he mentions it. And then the audience like, oh, Rick James, bitch. And he had them kicked out.
Oh, that's dirty. He set him up for that. Everybody says that.
Well, throughout the show, somebody would say it.
Oh.
So he's like,
he's gone.
See ya. I was like, wow, I shouldn't have brought it up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's your fault.
James, you never played the Blaisdell show then, when Chappelle played Blaisdell?
No, that was I was there. I was sitting by the what do you call the ASL interpreter.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Yeah,
I know, it was hilarious. I was like, oh my god, because Dave looked over and saw her doing the sign language. I was just like, started messing with her. But Kermit Appeal opened for him at the Blaisdell, who is an Iolani grad. He tours nationally doing stand-up comedy. Super nice and super funny guy. So Kermit Appeal is another guy. I mean, if you guys maybe future guests or something.
That's cool. Yeah.
He still keeps his Hawaii root, because he does Facebook Lives and he plays Hawaiian music.
So right on.
Super cool guy.
Brah, thank you for coming on the show, man. Is there anything you want to shout out, like your Instagram and your new podcast that's coming out and your website?
Yeah, cool. Thanks. Anything that people want to see me or find me is at comedian James Mane. Mane is spelled M-A-N-E. I get that, people are Maine. That's cool. They call me Maine, but just anywhere like except for Twitter. Twitter would be James_Mane. But you find me on Instagram, you can find me every place else. Everybody got that link tree. And so I started working on my website finally, comedianjamesmane.com, and try to fill it with some content. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that reached out to me and started following me on Instagram, and my TikTok is what I want to push, because I want to get famous like Charlie D'Amelio with but I gotta learn all these teenage dances.
I know, you just gotta get a ring light, and my daughter's been trying to get me to dance. I was like, no.
Yeah, I do the lip sync stuff. I'll do that, but the dancing, I did one or two when I first started with my daughter, and I was like, that's it for daddy.
I might hurt something. You know what I mean?
I have. But thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you. As just as a patron to Tamua's show, and we seen you and we're like, bruh, this guy was so good. Let's try get him on. And like, I don't know how. I'm just gonna slide in his DMs, or if not, I was gonna try to have Hoppa try to call you up for something. And I was like, he hit me back. I told John, like, he's down. He's like, yeah.
Wow. I saw a lot of people reach out to me. Even Ronnie Cheng. He reached out to me through DM on Instagram, which is, I was shocked. I was like, holy cow, this guy is on TV and movies.
Yeah.
And at the time he DM'd me, I was scolding my daughter. So I was teaching her how to park. She was learning how to drive. I was teaching her how to park. I was like, we was on Pearl Ridge with no more cars. Okay. I started losing my temper. I started getting mad. She started crying. And I looked down. Yes.
That's insane. And your show's at Blue Note's coming up soon, and you're touring with Tomorrow Maui at that same Castle Arena, Castle Theater, correct?
Yep. That's I think February 26th is Tumoa's show on Maui at Castle Theater, and then I'll be doing February 2nd at Blue Note in Waikiki.
Oh, nice.
Wouldn't be surprised if somebody shows up.
Yeah, that'd be insane.
Who I mentioned earlier, but I won't say his name.
Get it.
Andy Bumatai.
Yeah, I wish. He doesn't want to leave his house. He only do daily pigeon now.
Oh.
Hey, I will say this one last thing here. Andy Bumatai is the professor. Andy Bumatai, like, he will break. If anybody wants to start, talk to him, because I learned so much from him. The way I dress too. That's all from Andy. Even the way body language, everything that Andy Bumatai taught me, and it still works today. So that's the
cool.
man.
At least he's down to help. Like, I like that when people try to help other people, like, do what they're doing. Yeah, that's cool. Right on, man. And for us, you can find us on Above the Bridge Podcast on Instagram. You can find Boyband John on BBJ8, the letter 808 on Instagram. Go follow him. I'm Thaddy Daddy High on Instagram, and on YouTube. Above the Bridge Pod has all our episodes on there. That's about it, man. Oh, our website is atbpod.com. Right on, man. Thank you for coming, and we appreciate you, and we're definitely going to be fans for life and be watching you and trying to check out more of your shows.
Go Niners.
Go Niners. These guys better not blow it. Right on. Shakas for the cameras. Right on, man. Shout out to the Artist Group Network. We're out. Aloha.